Hello, collective. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing fine. And okay. And that, giving our best. So let's cleanse the space. Come on. Try to light this up. Too cheap to put the air conditioner on. So, fans. So, let's cleanse the space. Myself and Archangel Metatron to protect, go through the collective eyes. Uh, Gosh, all these burn marks on my keyboard. I draw hearts on them, like with a Sharpie pen. Give it a little jazz it up. All right. You know what? We already did the sound bowl of the sacral chakra, which is on our stomach, the solar plexus, free will. Now let's the heart chakra, the green chakra, and I'll be right back. Let me get it. It's on my table. Uh, well, so I use these on my table. I'm gonna I have a bookshelf coming. I'm gonna um, put them on there on the bottom so that I know being from California, I think about earthquakes. So um, nothing over my head, over my bed. um, Anything that could break, nail down. You have to think about that. And I grew up in school. We did like drills in case there's an earthquake drill. And so I'll have it on the bottom and put plants on the top. That way it doesn't look too junky. Right. Try to keep it simple. Okay. So let's get started. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time. We're grateful for our blessings. We ask that you protect our collective and more downloads to increase uh, our gate coming up, our portal, and rising in our uh, timelines, and also for so much coming up. We have some exciting things coming up. We want to rebuke all negative energies and keep them at bay, drop them in the water, all that negative energy, and keep the high frequencies, the high vibrations rising, and just drench into Mother Earth. Because the divinity in us honors the divinity in Mother Earth, keeps us grounded, and gives us life. We thank you, and we love you. And we ask that I channel this for the collective your way and not my way. Thank you. And angels surround our four corners of our rooms and around our homes and around us. 3D plane, dream state, and every dimension that we're feeling and vibing on. pray for those going through hardships. We ask for healing for humanity, of the world, of the planet, 99% of the planet, to for the angels to be at every, help them get shelter and food and basic needs and grants for health. We ask for innocence to be to prevail in truth so that we can go on with our healings and have our God-given abundance of life. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. It's getting smaller and smaller. It's the smallest one is the purple, the head. So that's closest to divinity is the smallest bowl, and it's also nice. It's a higher pitch. So the smaller the bowl gets, the higher the pitch, and the higher the vibrations and the frequency. So I like it, and it's also babies love it too. If you play like a music box for them, do you notice it's like a real high pitch? Because babies are so joyful and happy, and they love that high pitched sound, and they get those good feel good frequencies. So reminds them of heaven that they just came from. They're very open and tucked in. That's why they can see. Like my son's girlfriend, her daughter, she keeps pointing out of the window, Dada, Dada, because my son was going to adopt her. And so she's like, there's nobody out there. And so I said, well, show her pictures and see what she says. And she was showing her pictures of my son, and she didn't say anything. She didn't like try to lead her in any way and say, Dad. She just left it up to her. And she said, Dad. And so she sees my son, and he's on the other side. And he told me too in a reading with Michelle that she does see him, and he watches over all of us with his buddy Archangel Michael, who he works with. All the archangels. He's an angel too. Comes from they come from the same soul chart. So now this healing after a heartbreak from potential love interest. Everyone grieves differently, and I'm not here to judge nobody how they grieve or um, long it's for their best and highest good. It's not going to harm them or anyone else, right? And I'm also going to use some information that my mom gave me. Pages are opening up here. Okay, my mouse was like scrolling across the head frame. And it was like opening it up. But anyways, so um, the um, the thing is that my mom used to say, if you want a man, if you don't want a man, never tell him you want to marry him. And get married and divorced twice. Um, honestly, and at my age, I'm I'm good. I just loyalty is most important to me, and hopefully a lot of the empresses, the collectives out there who are old souls, um, have earned to carry the energies of the four queens and the empress and the high priestess. And so it comes with not only respect and dignity for others, but also, um, it's a two-way street, right? Um, energy. goes, what you send out comes back. So yeah, it's a two-way street for equal give and take. And sometimes when that doesn't happen in a relation, or not even a relationship, but like a love interest, nowadays I'm kind of old-fashioned, so um, but you know, everyone has their own style, and um, and one thing to address about that is that I was discussing today. I want to mention with I have a grief therapist, from after losing my son, and she's just wonderful. I can see her wings behind her, and she's just a doll and lovely lady. And she and I were mentioning, I wanted to know, like, what was the difference between getting to the root of the problem and hitting rock bottom? Like when you hit rock bottom, it's like only way to go is up, right? When everything else has been done to you but being destroyed, basically you finally, surrender. Okay, I got to make my life better. This is hopefully, they look in the mirror and notice that I some of us got to change, right? That's your healing journey. That's the start, and that's the first way of getting started in your healing journey is to start, right? And it takes commitment and loyal and dedication to yourself. And people that do it are, I and in AA programs and um, cleaning up from drugs or whatever addictions that have been destructive in their lives, and they finally realize that something's got to change because it's been like so obvious. Um, and spirit will do that too. Will get louder and louder, and also physical symptoms too. Um, like emotional. I have a great book written by some therapists that are about how our emotions affect our health, and when they go ignored, um, we get health problems. And then we wear ourselves down. We don't go to sleep. We don't take our minerals, our vitamins, have a good, healthy, balanced diet and um, what we need just as human beings to recharge and get our strength back. It will show in physical symptoms. And, for instance, if someone has like, issues in their digestion, is it because they're not listening to their gut feeling? Um, there's all kinds. One lady was having a eye issues, and she got a reading, and she found out that there was something that she wasn't seeing or listening. Um, you know, whatever it is, right? There's something that Holy Spirit's trying to tell you that you need to pay attention to and raise your vibrations, and then it improves, right? Um, and it does affect us, and it's very important to pay attention to how we're feeling. That's clear sentience, our feeling. So, oh, when I opened this video, it was 10:10 p.m. So I was like, oh, I can't make it up. That's awesome. 10:10, 10 being the end of a cycle, and then starts resets over one, or actually zero. Zero is the new beginning of what, hopefully up with Most High and not down with failing the lesson. And we are here learning lessons. Um, and if it's something that you're in the middle of a cycle and you've learned it, you can petition to Most High that the universe, or whatever language you speak, it's not a religion. It's everyone has a soul, okay, and it's a personal relationship. My grandfather was a Christian minister, very traditional and old fashioned. And my mom always said the nicest gentleman she's ever met. She's met a lot of men. She was a barber. She would cut men's hair. So the thing is that petitioning Holy Spirit, God, Most High, is that hey, I learned my lesson and I'm ready to move on. And um, with no fear zone, like my son says, because we are sovereign by right. And that's why usually when people, um, when we need to get to the root of the problem, um, is that you don't have to hit rock bottom to get to the root to the problem. Usually, rock bottom is when spirit is, you know, trying to redirect you in your right way. Um, when it's getting to the root of the problem is actually the work, doing the inner work, because when we do the inner work after heartbreak and we go down deep into our soul, we realize that our soul is never broken. It's always whole, it's always whole. And it's a spirit, not the body. Um, you know, People lose limbs, millet veterans, and they're still a person, a human being. So it's not the body, it's um, the energy, the electricity in our bodies. And that is where the soul pops into our infant bodies right before birth, right before coming out of the canal. And our soul leaves our bodies. Um, it can go in and out while we're still on a respirator. We can do that. Um, when the heartbeat flatlines, then that's a permanent release of the body. And they're the same. Their personalities are the same. Everything's the same. They just um, left their costume. They took off their clothes. They unzipped their meat suit and stepped out into higher dimensions and go into our life review. And that is really cool when they talk about that and how we affect other people, because we'll definitely um, feel and see and experience when we go through our life review everyone we've thought about, everyone that we've touched, um, everyone that we've um, or mean to, everyone that we put down, God forbid. If someone hurt someone, I don't know, maybe punch them, you're going to feel that. If you're racist, guess what you're going to be in your next life? Um, that color. Divine justice. That's how that works, because we're here to learn lessons that we are, and that hopefully we learn that sooner than later. And, anyways, the, the times that we go through heartbreak, and we're human, we have emotions and feelings, is it can be overwhelming, you know. and tearful, or we feel laughter, we feel, we have memories too that also need to be healed. Getting to the root of the problem. I feel like that's kind of the same thing as Dark Night of the Soul. I've been through that. I had to call out a week from work because it was emotionally exhausting. It was very tearful. It was very upsetting. And I just rested and prayed. And I think that's why it only took me a week. And called on my angels. Um, and I also want to know the lesson. What was the lesson in this to learn? And that's another way that we can stop the karmic lesson cycle from happening over and over again. Is when you clear your mind and get into communication with our spirit guides, our divine spirit guides, our Holy Spirit, um, have universe, whatever you want to say. I'm gonna say universe too, and embrace one, all of them. And my son also, I kind of knew this, but my son validated for me that there are galactics that are also angels. It goes by your soul growth and your dimension that you've elevated to. And that's what Christ was here to teach: spiritual elevation and spiritual maturity. So, as a teacher, ascended masters, and his aura was so strong when he went out to the desert for 40 days, 40 nights, and the devil tried to tempt him, and he said, "Get behind me, Satan." And he's got a divine mission that he's um, focused on, that his aura became so strong, real strong by the time he got back, that and he radiates a yellow aura from the solar plexus that is um, free will. And I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's like a fire sign, and it's of sight, your eyes, truth. He lived in truth, and that's probably why he was trusted a lot. And it rules the pancreas area, produces insulin, glucagon, contracts the liver, digestive system. Okay, so he was highly clairsentient. Says he listened to his gut feelings. Stomach, spleen, gallbladder, autonomic nervous system, lower back, and muscles. And it's personal power, will, energy, self control, humor, laughter, social identity, authority, inner harmony, action, vitality, influence. And then the dysfunctions are diabetes, indigestion. Diabetes is parasites too. It's you can take an antiparasitic and take a activated charcoal with that, so you don't get sick. Anorexia, bulimia, arthritis, poor self-esteem, fear of rejection, and oversensitivity to criticism, self-image fears, indecisiveness, need to dominate. So this is also like, there's crystals and gems are very grounding, like tiger's eye, amber, topaz, yellow jasper, and that's leadership. Jasper is leadership, and also it's an I can verb action. So when we need to get to the root of any of the dysfunctions to change our thinking into, excuse me, our personal power. It's nothing outside. It's nothing outside. And it's kind of like there's a book called Learning How to Not Give a Fuck. And that's basically respectfully letting people know that I am my own being. I'm an adult. Hopefully, you're over 18 when you tell other people. I know that teenagers can get a bit sassy, but yeah, I totally empowered my kids to be themselves. I'm vegetarian. I never forced them to not eat meat or um, trap them or enslave them or control them. I always would give them the facts, the the knowledge, the wisdom of how it's affecting their body or whatever, or read the packages. I would educate them. I constantly fed their head and with positivity, and they roll their eyes all the time. But now, today, um, they're into it, and it's really nice seeing how they saw that I wasn't trying to control them. I was just giving them. I was just sharing what is the best choices with knowledge. And you could do what you want with it. I don't care. Go wipe your ass with it or whatever. If I give you a piece of paper, then this is a knowledgeable for you. Um, do what you want with it. And usually, when people are controlling, they they push the other person away. Um, it's also science, right? We have like when our feelings have um a magnetism in it too, like the earth. And that's why it's so important to stay grounded when we're upset. It really is healing. Walking barefoot on the green grass, connecting with um, nature, and it's life. And it's really, really healing. Mother Earth does hear us and feel us on every footstep. And she's got a soul too, volunteer soul. And a normal thing to deal with that is to let someone be. Let someone be themselves. Let someone be free. Have you heard that saying? If you set a bird free or you set someone free, um, it's because you love them. If you love someone, you know, set them free and let them learn and grow. And when it's a part of nurturing, and when they do that and develop, and if they come back, they're yours. And much more um, substantial, you know, learning. Um, got some epiphanies, and it's just brings you closer. So, if anyone out there is suffering from a heartbreak, I'm very sorry, and hopefully it wasn't from backfiring spell work or something cuckoo like that. But the thing is that recognize that, get into the scriptures, and um, cleanse your energy, cleanse your house, pray to heal and help you with healing and getting down deep into your soul, into self love and self nurturing affirmations. Um, there's all kinds of ways on YouTube for binary beats. If you want to go to sleep, listen to a certain frequency. And that's after I had surgery, I played nonstop from my phone, healing music, repairing the DNA, repairing the my skin, and it was rapid. It really works, and there's other testimonies about that and how it's worked for them, and amaze the doctors because they're not taught that. They're only taught things to sell, right? And there's a lot that forgive that are just naturally here on life that is free and more powerful that heals us. And it's not just healing your heart because it will break down your immunities. You need to up your vitamins, your vitamin D's, D3, maybe some calcium. You can sit out in the sun and get your vitamin D, and not too long, just a few minutes. You can also get the codes from the sun, and that is building our DNA to 12 strand. If you're um, into raising our vibrations, working hard at that, and um, that's another way that when we take a blow like that or get burned, that was the first thing I thought of. Like, hey, I worked so hard at um, raising my vibrations and take a blow. What do I do? Man, I got to get back up, climb that ladder again. Yes, you do. Got to get back on that ladder again and and climb fast, you know, climb slow, step by step. It's up to you. That's our free will. And so when Christ went out into the desert to meditate for 40 days and 40 nights, he came back and his aura I heard was like so strong and powerful that anyone who would he had it open, wide open. You can control it, come closer, tiny, small, or you can have it wide out, or it goes out like well, it can go out like a Mack truck if you want it to. And he was always huge and just fearless, right? Because he was powerful. He had no fear, and he was close to God. He had a direct line to divine, and so he anyone who stepped into his aura was getting healed, was feeling some relief, and he knew just um, he was very focused on healing. He's a healer. He's a teacher. He's a healer, and he, wanted to show us how to. You will do all these things and greater, right? Didn't he say that? Because we're hopefully working on our um, evolvement and our development to graduate every cycle and not fail. But love never fails. So if you stay in the highest vibration of love, it's also the strongest. And that's very important. Empathy for other people. Um, Sometimes you might get mad, and we're human, and maybe blame, yet looking at ourselves isn't blaming, taking personal responsibility. We can't control other people, but we control ourselves and how we react, and hopefully not react and be more mature about how you um, use your time and your energy, most importantly, um, because you know our lifetime here is a blink of an eye. So, so when people try to trap someone or um, just cause arguments for attention, any negative way to get attention, um, that's a big turnoff. It's a turn off to me. Normally, it's a turn off. Um, but when you let someone, I mean that's really graduation. That'll really show you're a healer when you can get to the root, feel your heart. It hurts, yeah, it hurts. Why? What is your body telling you? You need to learn. Learning that we need to heal ourselves and focus on ourselves, go within. Don't blame other people. Don't trap other people. Don't um, act desperate. That's also a turnoff. Um, and who knows if that person, that woman or man, goes to someone else, let them. And because you're cool about it and nice, stayed friends, respectful, respect their choices, respectfully, you know what? It works both ways. Maybe when, they break up with that person, guess who they're going to think about? Oh, yeah, I, I got a safe place with that person. I've got, I can depend on my friends. They'll come back to you. So it's one thing my mom taught me, being around lots of men, is when um, she she liked working with. I was like, why don't you do women's hair? She would cut my hair, and I loved it. But she said, women were too bitchy and controlling. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then she was kind of she just she just liked to be relaxed and down to earth and natural, and she felt like men were more real. um, I'm not trying to cause a divide, a gender or none of that bullshit, because we can't generalize. There's men that are um, you know not so nice, and there's men that are very nice. So um, the thing is that we're all human, though. And if someone like actually goes into their heart and the root of the problem and heals that, or puts it to rest, gets rid of that burn, puts the fire out with some water, cool it off, and really spend that week, you know, facing the issue. I went through it was with a professional, and it was really intense. First of all, it's hard enough to admit it. A lot of people don't, and it's a pride thing. Woo! And a lot of people don't want to do it. They're like, I'm fine. I'm going to be on robot mode, and I'll deal with it later, later, later. Right now, I'm just going to live or whatever. But are you? Are you really living, or is something getting out of control? And being in your life, not nobody else. Um, I'm looking at the individual, because it's it's really ignorant to look at to take one label as a general, because when it's general, it's you're not really focusing on the individuals. um, Everyone has a special quality, a talent, a knowledge, a recipe that was handed down from grandma. um, Everyone has something to bring to the table, um, whatever it is. um, Maybe, who knows? And so giving someone that respect for that. But not only that, let's focus within our heart and healing our heart. And ask ourselves the question, and also with your angels, you know, like, we should be asking divine these questions. Tell me, um, what is my purpose? What should I be working on? Am I good with children? Am I good with animals? I love to paint and draw. Um, I love to write songs. I play the guitar, and um, there's something that makes life so rich, right? Um, there's some people who like to act, go to plays. Um, some people like to volunteer. there's zillions of things. And we do it enough, we learn it and we can teach it, right? Someone who loves yoga, and then they go to yoga enough, they know it by heart. And they're like, hey, I could do this class and get paid for it and help others um, stretch and get in tune with the flow of it's also a form of healing when we do something like that because we are quiet and focusing on a way of like releasing, sweating even, Um, we're we're still in thought. If we drive a car, a truck driver cross country, a safe driver, we need everyone. It's a community, right? And that's what makes us function, right? Not dysfunction. It helps us get our groceries. It helps us, unless you like to grow your own, which I'm into. I'd rather be self sufficient and have solar panels and everything natural, like for free, like we're meant to be, especially, that's how God made us, his royals. And it's just waking up to this. And all the answers are in our soul. They really are. This awareness in our soul to get quiet and not worry so much about other people or what they think. Of course, everyone wants a good reputation. And at the same time, we all make mistakes. And and if someone can't get over it, then they're not your friend. I'd rather know early on than later. And um, but we can all be redeemed, and that's the beauty of life. We can all have a fair chance. And anyone who robs anybody else of having their freedom, a fair chance at their life, I I wonder if I did that to someone, I wonder I would be thinking about when I cross over and I start having my um, life review, I'm going to be feeling that. I'm going to be living that, and I'm going to be seeing out their eyes, and my energy will experience that as them. Every feeling, every um, you know, something to think about, something to feel. It's about our soul, and my cousin always says if she breaks up with someone, she would buy a new pair of jeans. you know, she would just start her new dreams, right? And make new plans and find a new identity. I know after a marriage, especially after years and years, my last marriage was 22 and a half years. And because we're peaceful to each other, um, we are like brother and sister, really. Um, we can, we're still like family, right? We raise kids together. And so having that respect and peace and freedom between us really built respect back in the breakup. And it really helped with the healing. And, people get triggered, they're not healed yet, and want to start an argument. And, you feel oh, they look really crazy. And I was just like, hey, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. I'm healed. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. Let's let's move past it. I'm over it, and we can have a, a fresh day. You know, look outside. It's a beautiful day, and I really felt his energy de-escalate, and I'm so proud of him because I felt that he also, because he de-escalated so fast, um, showed all the work that he put into healing himself and moving into calmer waters. And um, not, and when you set someone else free, you're really setting yourself free. And when you allow that person to be themselves and, um, not trying to bring them to their knees and control them like a slave, um, you know, how do you build respect with, when someone feels like they can't breathe? How, you know what I mean? Like, how does that affect your life? If someone needs to breathe and feel free to be themselves, and why would they want to come back to me if I was just when they couldn't breathe? If I made them feel like so smothered and so like hurt and did everything I can to break someone down so that I can control them and get my nails into them and you're gonna do what I say, asshole. You're my husband, asshole. Listen to me. What is someone gonna do? I mean, it's common sense. I never did that with my kids because the first thing they're gonna do is the opposite. They're gonna, you tell your kids to do something. Now, um, I always gave my kids the respect. I always gave other people respect and just feel free. And I think that's why they didn't have any issues growing up. They're very balanced, emotionally balanced. And, like my daughter, she broke up with her 3-year boyfriend. When was it? And she even took him back after cheating on her. And I'm really proud of her. She wanted to try again. He said he was going to therapy for cheating. How does that work? I don't know. But anyways, they decided to end it, and they she just said, "Mom," well, he did. He just played a lot of games, and she kept trying, and finally she just said, um, but he was always kind of trying to control her. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Having her like a robot. Okay, okay, and I'm like, wake up! You're on autopilot. Wake up, God! You can't. If someone unconditionally loves you, someone that love is unconditional and with no harm to yourself or other people. Um, and you're telling them you got to be like this, you got to be like that, you got to freaking salute me when I walk in the door and get my slippers and bring me my beer and turn on my favorite show and give me some money and no, no, no. When everything is just going fine, right? Everything's taken care of. She, she I mean, I can trust my daughter. She's to take care of everything. She always has. If she was failing in a grade, I'd be like, what do you want to do, sweetheart? Do you want to, you know, if she had to be set back, okay, then it would be easier for her the second time. I'd still love her the same and not shame her or anything. But she's a fighter. She was like, no, I'm gonna pass this class. And oh my gosh, she set her alarm. She'd get up early and study her ass off in the morning for exam. And then she'd come home and she was like, I can't go out this weekend. I got this, I got that. And she would cheat freaking, you know, balls to the wall. She was like, I'm gonna pass this class. And she did. Oh my God, she lit the fire in her butt. And she was just amazing. And that had to come from her own soul. Nobody can force it out of anyone else. I couldn't make her crap out determination and focus, you know? Even if I had like a gun to her head, you can't force someone, God forbid. And would she hate me for it? I think so. So I was gonna do that. I don't want to do that to anyone because that will kind of like not get the results I actually want. Just to be realistic and have some common sense, right? Common sense ain't common. And when we can allow someone the freedom and just trust them, yeah, I know you're going to take care of this and that. You always have. You always have. You have a good heart. My ex-husband, um, we can talk openly about money. It's not anything that we're going to screw each other out of. And because of that peace, um, we've, we have a lot of respect for each other. Um, and he was taking me out on dates and stuff before, but then you moved to Hawaii. But that's a calling with my divine. I'm married to divine. I said, I'm married to God, number one. And it wasn't like I didn't tell him for 22 and a half years, and he acted like I would. Where'd this come from? It just wasn't on what he wanted to do at the time, even though I've been telling him for 22 and a half years what I'm going to do when the kids are independent and I have my free time. And, of course, um, early in our marriage, he was like, oh, that sounds great. Yeah. And then, I don't know, later, people changed. He wasn't on board and acted like I never once said that. So, people hear what they want to hear. And that's why we can't waste our energy on trying to control other people because we cannot control people. And people are just going to hate us. And they're just going to want to get away from us even more. And do you think if, I don't know, if someone you broke up with who you miss a lot and want back and you freaking make their life a living hell, do you think they're going to think of you when they're single again? Or, um, I don't know, want to pick up the phone and talk like a friend? Or um, seek um, some sound advice? No, they're going to think you're freaking really crazy. And I would never put myself in another situation where you can put me through hell again because I fucking hate you. And that's just, you know, we weren't the first, and we, sad to say, won't be the last who have gone through this. Um, so let's focus inward. So focus on love, right? Love, love, love. Even if we like meditate this, and it'll get us in our mindfulness, love, 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 and raising our vibrations and getting into this meditative state, grounding with Mother Earth, opening our silver cord to divine, not pinch it off, and receive that the spiritual gifts that we've earned, and makes life really exciting, makes life really wonderful. And before you know it, you forgot about the heartbreak because you're working on your self love. You're not triggered anymore. You're laughing again. You're smiling again. You're feeling good. You're at peace being alone in the home and just doing you, right? It's all good in the hood. And just getting structured again, after healing, after, all the tears are dried up in the sunshine and, you got their house cleaned or whatever makes you feel good. Um, just focus on your structure and what you do for, I don't know, start a new project. I'm applying to for another master's program, and I want to get licensed, and that makes me feel good, because I'm doing this for me, and it's nothing that anyone can ever take away from me, ever, ever, eh, ever. And it makes me more, um, it makes me more independent, and it just makes me feel good to do it, not for bragging rights or bullshit like that, because it's a lot of fucking hard work, and um, I never put doubt on it, like, "Oh, it's expensive and it's this, it's that. Well, the school is like top of the line, has a good reputation. I'm going to have excellent professors. I'm going to have quality classmates, but it's online. Everything. That's good things. On the bright side, COVID, we have more Zoom, we have more technology, right? It's not such a stigma to have an online class with a brick and mortar university because it was kind of like poo poo on. And um, now it's the same piece of wallpaper you put on your wall, which doesn't matter. It's really your performance. It's your performance on how you can um, execute a task, execute your leadership, execute um, how to handle not only what your topic or your major is, or if you're an engineer or if you're a doctor or a nurse, it's also people skills, right? Um, you have to have leadership qualities and get along with everyone, all walks of life, right? Cultures, with respect and work, work together like gears, of a clock it has to function together, right? In peace and harmony. And that's how it's going to flow. Same thing in relationships. Sometimes if it doesn't work out, we need to go within and look at ourselves, like Michael Jackson says, working on the man in the mirror. Because when we change that issue that is us, and not to a far extent degree where you're like insecure, like, oh, it's me. No, you need to also realize that everything needs a balance. Um, when we're insecure, we need to realize it's okay. It's okay to be me. And I love me. I need me. I need me. I need my hand to wipe my ass. I need me to, I need this meat suit to function, to do what I need to do, to take care of my dogs, to pick up the phone and call my kids, do what I need to do. I need me to have my head on straight and balance it all out. And that's where the mastery comes in. And also, we can graduate spiritually and help others. And we can also find lots of things. I mean, there's really no excuse with all this technology. We have the world in the palm of our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. We have a whole library. We have books. We have movies, YouTube, free movies, free books. There's thousands of other things to think about and do than to torture our exes for living. Let them live. Let me live. you know, if my I I've had I don't know, just if someone acts like a little bit of a whack job and get controlling. My exes wanted to do that, but you don't do that no more because when people don't give the respect or I don't know. I guess I'm just I'm very soft and nurturing. I'm very balanced with my feminine and masculine side. On the feminine side. And then if someone is going to be abusive, um, then I can stand my ground. But it's also an individual thing because I have people that I work with who are very sensitive, you know, and have to walk on eggshells. So I'm very considerate of where they're at and be more gentle. And then there's friends of mine who just are loud and proud, okay? And they will crack jokes and, you know, nothing is, they, because they love themselves, right? They don't take it personal. Um, and they know me. like, so we have to get a good relationship with ourselves and know ourselves, know from the soul. It's a self love journey. It's the healing journey. Healing gets us back in touch with our feelings, our heart, our emotions, and back to what we're all about. And if you think about it, when we were just playful, happy, fun loving kids or teenagers, did we really care about possessing someone else or someone else possessing us? You know, did it really matter that we were things that we're worried about today? No. When I was a teenager, I was just me. When I was a kid, I was just me. Just wanted to be a kid or kid at heart. Um, have good, clean fun, laugh, um, enjoy life, make the best out of it, learn, and protect the innocent. I've just always been like that. My family kind of knows I'm maybe a little bit on my own lane. I'm in my own lane, yet I've never tolerated racism. It's ignorant, and who knows? Maybe the very person that you're racist about saves your life, gives you mouth to mouth when you have a stroke, or helps you out because they're like over their self and have a genuine good heart. And that's what we really should be looking at. It's the heart. And if someone's hurting, hey, you've been healed. You've been through that. You know how to help them out. Help them out. Don't kick them when they're down. Give them a hand up and help help others to look on the bright side. All the work that you put in also can help someone else. As like, what are you going to teach your kids? A good mom is always last. Is what my granny taught me, and that was her thing. She was a stay-at-home mom. She just talked about her family and like to cook and feed us and have all the celebrations at our house. And she's just a joyful, loving lady. And she's just very simple and sweet. She's Hawaiian Portuguese. We're Portuguese, Hawaiian on my mom's side. One of them, not to mention her dad's side, is Indian and Dutch and the whole Pocahontas John Smith thing. um, the tribe didn't like her with a Dutch, so she was ostracized. Maybe it's in my DNA to be a little bit of a rebel soul because she was like, "Well, fuck you. You're not feeling what I'm feeling. I love you, yet my heart is calling me to be with this person." And so she married um, my mother's father's grandfather, something like that, or dad. And so, yeah, damn, we never got the benefits of being having it was like quarter Cherokee, but um, but that's okay because I feel for her. I have empathy for her that she had her reasons. Maybe she just didn't want to hear their fucking mouth their bullshit, their ignorance. She must have been very advanced for her age, and a lot of us souls come back here to do that, to maybe deliberately trigger people of ignorance to like a catalyst to think again, think again. Or we just, a long time ago, people were afraid and of, I don't know, they saw a light bulb, scream and yell, or probably worship them. They're gods, you know. Come on, science. And it's just ignorance. And I'm not saying that as like a put down. I'm just saying that as there's a lot of things I'm ignorant to. And that's why I love to just keep feeding myself because, um, there's more than one way to break bread, right? You can break bread at the table with literal bread to nourish our meat suit. And we also need to feed our heads and keep growing and learn and teach. Teach this to our children. Help them to develop and evolve and be a good friend, be a good ex. And, would someone put their friends through hell? Some people do. So it's just a part of being nice, right? Giving someone peace. Peace is really healing. Usually after those sympathy cards, when you deal with the loss, you know, I usually wish for their peace, to find peace with it. And that's really healing because when you can find peace with the unbelievable, sudden change, um, it's like nurturing yourself. It's like giving yourself a big hug, you know, like a teddy bear, you know. I'm going to hold on to me. I'm going to hug me. I'm going to love me. And I'm going to nurture myself. And I'm going to like feed my head. I'm going to feed my soul something substantial, something that is going to help me heal and learn and grow on all levels, spiritual, mundane. You know, I need to fix my car or hang up a picture or fix my sewing machine. I have to learn it. That's the beauty in knowing how to read. You know how to read, you can freaking learn anything. And if someone's a doctor or nurse, I mean, it's like I'm not intimidated because I've learned that we can all learn. And that's how we build our self esteem. But I didn't start college till I was 30. Well, actually, I went to fashion design at 19. So, but I left the house and started to work. And I hated it. I was like, I want off this treadmill and get my degree and make a salary with benefits, mental or medical, dental, um, have a savings plan, and you just got to start and never think anything negative about it. Just be optimistic. That's my ex-husband was kind of like, how do things just happen for you? You know, and I just um I just try. There's a lot of people in like the academies, a lot of kids, they've been pampered, they're spoiled, right? Handed everything. Like on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that one Beluga. She just like screamed and yelled when she didn't get her way, and she was just a big damn headache. And her everyone was just like, "See ya, I don't want to be ya." And she wasn't hand. If you're not just handed everything and you kind of like you work for it and you earn it, it's more meaningful to you. You take better care of it, and it's a bit of a discipline, yeah. But if you love it and you feel it, you're gonna do it, right? And I just figure if I'm gonna like why waste my time and energy on someone else, when I could be looking good, I could be standing strong. Um, yeah, I'm gonna buy a new pair of jeans when I save my money. Um, I'm gonna go to the salon and be good to me. Um, but I don't even have to spend money to be good to me, right? We have a lot of free things we could do. When I was in the Navy, I didn't make a lot of money. People in the military don't make a lot of money. It's like it's a service, and it's I bought a kite and a nice camera. Saved my money, bought a kite, new clothes, kite, nice camera. It was like finally, this is happening for me. I can really um just I got a fresh start, and um just take pictures of like nature and learn the angles, and there's like really take up a lot of your time learning how to do photography, and then also getting into a hobby. Um, that's also healing. People paint, right? And then they end up, they can sell it, make money from it. Some people um, make a lot of money from their hobbies or turning their pain into power. Um, Realizing your blessings and also your gratitude when we look at on the bright side. And we can't be mad at someone who freaking burned you or burned me. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna blame anyone else, but all the people who burned me in my life, well, number one, they're free to be themselves. Number two, just like I expect to be free to be myself and take it or leave it, right? And we need to realize that when we look on the bright side and see that, wow, I stepped into my divine feminine energy because of that growth, because of what I learned from that. I learned about I learned to be a queen of swords when I learned to stand up for myself and be just truthful and honest and intelligent, and I learned to be that Queen of Cups, that sweet, nurturing mother. Thank you. I'm so grateful for my son, even though he crossed over. I could still be wallowing in self pity. Oh, no. I want to look at the bright side. I want to make lemonade and say, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for coming into my life and being my firstborn and making me your mom, because that was the most joyful experience for me, having my babies. And I was like, I didn't know I could have babies. I was gonna, I came this close to adopting a baby Chinese girl because it's really sad. The boys are treated better than the girls. Hopefully not today, 2023. That's ignorant, right? Those boys have mothers. I don't know how men could be chauvinistic when they have mothers who took care of them and raised them. Do they respect their mothers? I raised my boys to respect and understand that women have love and a nurturing side that they better respect. And that is also very valuable. It's a balance, right? We're not seahorses. We're, you know, this they're all the same gender, right? They hold the male and female and have babies. No, we're human beings with a male and a female, just how um, our creator designed us to be. And I'm kind of old fashioned, I stay home with my kids and raise them. I work too, and I went to college, but at night when my ex husband came home, and we'd switch off and we made it work, we made it function, and it was it was great. And I'm really grateful for the memories, even with my ex husbands. I thank them for um, you know, I needed them and bring in the kids, right? And take care of the kids and have happy memories. That's really valuable to me. Moms make happy memories, right? not miserable ones where you're like in hell to torture. No, that's against the law. There's laws for that because it just ain't right. And the thing is that when you set someone free and they come back to you, that's the best feeling because you didn't hold a gun to their head, didn't bribe them, you didn't like um, have to be mean to do it or anything to make them do it. It's because they wanted to. They wanted to, and that's that's love. That's the ultimate freedom. And wanting to be on this self healing journey, this self love journey, is also healing and loving ourselves because we want to. We want to put in the time for ourselves and not ignoring it and letting it go into out of control where it can harm um, yourself and the children. And hey, like my granny says, a good mom, also a good dad when it comes to your family, puts himself last. Well, the mom puts himself last because they're um, the man, right? A man wants to feel like a man. So let him be a man. Let him step up. And what do they say? Behind every strong man, no, wait, behind every successful man is a strong woman, a woman who is silent but deadly. I guess. Not literally deadly, like in a way of nurturing, feed your head, feed your soul, feed you a hot meal. Um, not catering, but like overdoing it, but letting them be themselves and being their friend, being, you know, wearing several hats, bringing the peace, um, allowing them to grow and develop into being a man and feeling like a man. And if I was controlling and hounding my kids, my ex-husbands, would they be able to think straight? Would they feel good? And every time they thought of me, would they feel good? I don't think so. I think it would be a real turn off. I think it would be it would turn me off. And it's just an important lesson. One of the lessons we have to learn. And also with self-care and self-love to heal our broken hearts. Finding our new dreams, finding our new passion. It's new, yeah. Could be scary. Um, but you know what? Stimulate your own mind. You know, think about what can I do to pour into me? You know, I've this is my time. This is my time. In fact, I kind of like my freedom. I kind of like myself. I kind of like, you know, being able to do what I want. I kind of like that I have you know, I like that my ex-husbands respect me and when they think of me, they're like, "Yeah, she's a peaceful person, you know. She's all right. Maybe I should have been nicer to her." That's so damn selfish. We live and we learn. Both of my ex-husbands were 22 when they got married, okay? Second time, I was like, "Oh, hell no. You got some wild oats to sow. Just go sow them because I don't share." And yeah, he 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 was very responsible and wanted to get to know. He wanted to go slow and be careful, and very patient and kind, and he wanted to be their stepdad, and he wanted to. Oh my god, he's probably gonna if he's watching this. It's all good. It's all good. um, he was just nice guy, and just caring and loving, and wanted to take the time to be a family. Um, he was lucky. He came from a great family, you know. Um, his dad, stand-up man, and just was very good to the kids, um, and and adult kids. Very generous, and he did what he wanted, but he also knew what he couldn't. The way he couldn't live. He went through a divorce. And he said, "No, I just can't live that way. I can't live like that." And he found his his new wife. They were married for a long time till he passed away. 30 years, I think, 30 or 40 years, a long time. And the thing is that, everyone has ups and downs. It's a growing. It's, you know, um, understanding other people's ways and allowing them to be that way, as long as they're not hurting themselves or other people. Allowing them. And when we can allow and accept that, that's also healing, right? The 7 stages of grief. When we go through a divorce, it's also a loss, just like a death. That's a loss. Um, you know, a pet, you know, anything that's a loss, a job, a friend, anything that is no longer in your life is a loss. And it's still a grieving. It's still grieving, allowing your time to grieve. And, people's like, oh, I'm just going to keep working. Yeah, but you need to balance that with your grieving time too, allowing yourself to cry, allowing other people to, and being compassionate and sympathetic and focus on the peace, focus on the love, the compassion, and with the other person too. It takes two to tango, and the other person is probably grieving too. So I want to allow that for my exes, even if they're bitter or angry. Um, that's, that's how they handled what they handled. But for me, I knew I'm not going to. Um, I'm going to control my own reactions, and I'm not going to, sit in the bar all night and get drunk and waste my money, waste my health. It's dehydrating, wrinkles. Fuck no. I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to look hotter. And I'm going to, go to the nail salon like Elle Woods and Legally Blonde. And I'm going to um, just get better, and allow that in all levels, not just the outside, of course not, but the time to cry. Yeah, cry. It hurts, really hurts. And also, we need to not just focus on what's lost with the emptiness. You need to turn around and notice there's there's a lot of fulfillment waiting there for you. There's and ourselves, look in the mirror. Is the best way to heal. Give yourself, permit time. Give yourself time to heal, and take that extra long nap on a Sunday, under the tree on a hammock. And it's get out in the country, go horseback riding. Don't have to spend money to do it though. You can go to the park, go to the beach. There's a lot of free ways to enjoy nature, enjoy life, enjoy your time alone, get it all out. Because if you don't, it's whether you think that you don't need to or not, it will start to show up in the future. And possibly future relationships, someone you really love and care about. And, like, oh my God, where's this coming from? Oh, it's a trigger from being hurt in the past that I didn't heal. I didn't understand. I didn't learn from it. how to that's me, and I don't want to do that to someone else that I love and I care about because they're it's a negative, and I don't want to bring negativity into the relationship. I want peace and harmony. So finding peace and harmony in ourselves and healing our heart, you know, make pottery. Um, I have a friend who had like this coloring books, and she would just color, and she went into paints, and then she developed into canvases, and that was her way of expressing herself. Garden, that's free. Growing something, getting a little seed, watering it in the sunshine, day in and day out, nurturing it, watching it grow, get a stick to support it, and, you know, maybe it's tomatoes. You learned that tomatoes need really deep pot. You're an apartment or really deep um, ground for the roots to have a beautiful fruit. And you make a beautiful garden. Maybe it's in designing your garden. And then, hey, you have join a gardening club. And then you meet like minds, right? Like minds, great minds think alike. And then you meet someone new that is like you and connect. And you have that in common and build a beautiful garden together. Um, Fruit, flowers, trees, and then watch the tree root or trunk get stronger and taller, and then fruit comes out that you can eat in the sun, and it's like, oh, I'm so proud of you. My tree, my beautiful tree, grew up and it's producing fruit. Some people take it down to the market, go to farmers market, and it can also bring in some income as long as we're still on the lame fiat dollar. Till we go to crypto, and um, that's to come. Maybe investing, right? Investing in yourself, learning how to watch the stock market, watching, because that's a daily project, and you have to really um, stay on top of it. So that's energy you're putting back. You're pouring this back in yourself, and maybe get a certificate online. Um, my son did it when he was he was the Army Ranger officer, and he still had missions, and he still had hard physical um, practices and things to do. And then he would, when he got home, he worked on. We had a T-shirt business online, and he also had. He got some like certificate in computers, doing something in computers. I'll have to ask his dad. But then he he got a job at Amazon, and they were just amazing. So shout out to Amazon because they wasted no time on and very classy, very they have their own department for bereavement. Everyone was super nice, super supportive. They offered professional help when I had to call at, zero dark hours. And um, just, I just need someone to listen, right? Um, I had to, I was a grieving mom. And and now on the bright side, I think, okay, so what? I don't see his meat suit. I have his pictures in every room. And I say hi to him every morning and have coffee with them. But in spirit, I can hear him and feel him. And it's like that was a catalyst to getting more spiritual gifts. And he's also helping me. that brought in me practicing more, um, connecting and communicating with him and seeing him with my third eye really catapulted me. So when we understand that we make these soul contracts before we're born, no matter how hard it is, it's a whole new responsibility that we take instead of blaming that, hey, I did this. This is my soul contract and I agreed to this. And this is my energetic signature before I came here. So I can learn these lessons. And if I don't decide right, hey, do this to get me on the right path. And if I'm on the right path, then show me signs. Other soulmates to come in. Um, just a lot goes into it. And I hear from souls on the other side that it's just mind blowing how much goes into our soul contract for our life and that we sign to it. And we just have to ask, right? What's the lesson here? You know, I got hurt once and I was like, what's the lesson here? My awareness. Ugh. I needed to be aware of my gut feelings because I knew I was feeling to do something else. I was feeling it, but did I do it? No. My ego wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I just did it. And you know what? I got hurt, and I'll never forget it. So look at it as a blessing. There's always a lesson to learn. There's always something. It's a gift, my son says on the other side. Don't look at obstacles as something negative. Look at it as um, a gift from God to feel it and learn from it. And hey, say, petition. I've learned this. Or what is it I need to learn? Okay, cut my karma short. Um, what tell me how I can pay this karmic debt off and um, you know, service to others, genuine and sincerely. Um, there's lots of ways. And we just have to ask, how do I heal my heart? How do I make lemonade out of this, Lord? They'll tell you. I heard it. If not, there's a lot of readers, a lot of not just ones that um, are lying just for the money. There's a lot of ones from God that are just naturally born with it because their souls have been through enough um, bumps and um, earned it, right? Our soul earned it. So when we focus on ourselves, and I, I'll be honest with you, I was a little intimidated by people who had higher education. I was like intimidated because um, there was, someone outranked me, and then I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna prove to myself that I can do it too, and I did, and it made me feel good. It made me so fucking good. And nobody ever can rob me of it, steal it from me. This is something I built in my heart. And this is something that everyone should do. They should feel good and pouring into themselves, using their own energy. It's work to go to school. Some people are like, it's fucking boring or work. But it makes me feel good. And that's why I'm gonna do it. I'm not saying it's for everyone because there's a lot of people who just have experience and there's that are more um, knowledgeable on something who don't have a degree, but would get hired over someone who has a degree because they're an expert. and they know what the fuck they're doing, and they deserve it because that's what they put their energy into themselves. They fucking spent the time to know it. And hey, when you know it and you become an expert and you just love it and it's like your niche, it's your calling, your true calling. It's from your soul. It's feels good and it's a way that we can pour into ourselves and heal our heart. And it's like I'm saying to myself, I'm going to live and let myself live. I'm going to get a life and set those others free. That's love. When you can set someone free and listen, like shut up, shut your stupid mouth, and open your ears, wake up, and maybe someone would like to be heard. Maybe someone would like you to really understand what they have to say. Do you care? Do I care? If I love someone, I will. I'll shut my stupid mouth and open my ears and give them the opportunity to be heard. And you know what? Okay, it's a free country still. It's good to sit down, just sit in it a while, let it marinate, and listen to others, what they have to say. I think everyone wants to be heard. That would save a lot of arguments, raising the voices. Because when people shout and yell, is anyone listening? No, they're fighting. So if you never want to fight in a relationship, just sit down and just fucking hear them out. And okay, you're free. It's a free country. I respect you. Respect me. Hear what I have to say. And that's very valuable. It's a quality a lot of people don't do, sadly. And then, end up in court so you can be heard. The attorneys will listen. They get $300 an hour. Not to mention every piece of paper, every phone call, another couple $100. And the timer's clicking, just like a taxi ride. It's going to cost you dearly for not listening. There's a lot of things I wish I knew that I learned the hard way. That cost me dearly. But you live and you learn. And don't be so hard on yourself. And, just kind of like, all right, well, I'll never forget it. What's the lesson here, Lord? So we can move on and make things better. I don't like to waste time. I don't like to waste money either. Take me to Vegas. If I lose $20, I'm done. I'll just watch you. But stationed over, or anyways, lived over there for a few years once because my husband was stationed in the Air Force there, Nellis Air Force Base, and not into the gambling scene. There was a lot of other fun things to do. Um, so I really like keeping myself busy with hobbies. Um, it's just enjoyment for me. You know, I did that. I made that. I can give back too. I like to make blankets and things that I learned to do as a kid. My babysitter taught me sewing and crocheting and knitting. And it's just, a nice thank you gift. And the kids got a list for me too. And it's something that, they'll have for me when I do cross over. And um, even though I'm not there, I'm still here. Because spirit is everywhere, and love never changes. Remember the movie Ghost? And he was so right. He was like, she's like, what's it like when you cross over? It was Patrick Swayze. He says, it's amazing, but love never leaves you. And that's true. You go, the feeling is real. The feeling, that's the velocity. That's the gas in your tank. What drives you? What drives your passion? Um, you know, advocating for animals, advocating for children, women's rights, painting, drawing, something that you can. And when you're doing this, you're kind of like in a hypnotic state because you're relaxed. It's a meditative state, really. And you can um, get in tune with your feelings and express it, get it out. That's what crying is so healing. It's a crystalline, and it's a way to get those roots up. And then there's no more triggers. There's nothing that will potentially harm your next relationship, or um, and it will show indirectly. It's called projecting. Yeah, when people talk about someone, you notice it's kind of really sounds like them. Really telling on themselves. Was that a song by the Romantics? I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. Yeah. And then when you love yourself and you have something to say, you really mean it. When you discover your likes and your dislikes and what you enjoy and what you're passionate about, you don't worry about what other people think about it because you just love it so much. You know, you live like nobody's watching, dance like nobody's watching. It's all good. And if someone has a problem with it, have they done the inner work? Are they triggered because they haven't got to the root of their problem? So, especially like in readings, um, the one thing the reader has to learn is to not be judgmental or um, scolding or whatever. Or, it's like you can give someone a reading and you can disagree or, um, or ask them, always ask, you want to hear mine? What I would do? And if they say no, all good. That's their choice. And I'd respect that. And if they don't want to hear it or they don't listen, then, you know, who am I to, I mean, you can't, I'm not going to put a gun to their head and force them to drink the water. you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And it's simple as that. And it's just like a loving parent is going to be like, yeah, it's okay. I'm not going to control and stalk my kids every time they walk to school so they don't get, a boo boo or helicopter parent them because whatever reasons, I'm going to let them, um, be human. I know they're going to get hurt. I know they're going to get love. I know they're going to get laughter. I know they're going to get tears. I know they're going to experience all these emotions because their soul signed up for it, just like I did. In fact, parents, the only thing really, really we really do is, um, you know, raise them the best we can. But I don't want to control my kids because I feel so much joy on watching them be them as an individual. And each one is so like amazing to me. And that's why I'm so grateful, seriously, for the chance to experience being a mom. Because without them, I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have that experience with all those people that probably um, didn't do what I wanted them to do. But I can't control other people. And that's something that I learned. And that's something, another energy to becoming the Empress, the Four Queens, the Queen of Wands. She's bold. She can be feisty, and she can be a leader, and she can be hot, sexy mama. She can. What's that Charlie commercial? That perfume. I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never ever let you forget you're a man. Okay, so we wear a lot of hats, and that's how it should be. So, and I had to learn that, and letting my kids learn that with their own personality, and giving them that room. It's okay. I enjoyed watching. It made me happy to see their development and having what I learned to help them through it. So that's what life's all about. Gotta let each other live our lives. And that's by freedom. Freedom ain't free. There's a lot of blood spilt over freedom. There's women didn't have rights to vote. Black people. Black people really suffered and had to learn to not be such a pushover and stand up for their rights and whatever it takes. Women, no matter how many times Susan B. Anthony and I forget the other name, Elizabeth Colby? I don't know. I think it's Elizabeth. But these two women, one of them was a stay at home mom. She was the brains. And another one was the one who handled the tasks. She never had children. She was never married. So she got out and she would hand out the flyers. And she would have to hear, well, they both would have to hear, um, people trying to control them, put them down, what are you doing? And whatever, from men and women who are brainwashed. It is a matrix. So when we learned the matrix, yeah, tricks are for kids, silly rabbit. I love the matrix. And it's a true story. Person who wrote that story also he's on interviews with Jesse Sabodar because they both had similar lives being raised by I think the Illuminati families and they which is control, abuse, an organization that they broke free from, and no matter what, no matter, they just walked away from it. She was in school, Jessie was in school to be a medical doctor. Everything was handed to her, but she's like, you know what, my freedom means more to me than, um, putting the Vaseline on. Yeah, the rebel gene. Can't live without it. Can't have any rights without it. And we have to learn. One thing good about history is that the important thing about history is that it'll never happen again. Yeah. So that's how we evolve, elevate our energies into where we want to be. So who do we have to blame if we're jealous of other people or blaming other people? Who do we have to blame? Huh? Like Michael Jackson says, the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror. The universe is a mirror. And I'm going to leave it at that. So, anyways, this is for entertainment purposes. Anyways, if you in need of professional help, um, don't have to take my advice. That's all it is. I'm just out here shooting the shit. I love my collective so much, and I this is my way of giving back. How I handle um, stuff that I've been through, and how I spiritually elevated and spiritually matured into holding these energies, and um, we have to learn the lesson to make our life better. It's a choice. In the tarot card, the Two of Cups, the lovers, equal give and take, and they're looking each other in the eyes, right? It's also a choice. Love is a choice. So allowing someone the freedom to live their life and make their choices is the real treasure in our soul. And it is a self love journey and paying attention to our blessings every chance we can learn and allowing us to feel that and be who we are and allowing others to feel the way they feel and be themselves. So peace is very valuable. Our soul is always whole. It never breaks. Our soul never is broken. Nope. It's always whole. So hope you have a beautiful day, beautiful evening. Have some hot tea, sit by the fire if you're in the snow, wherever you are around the world. Or if you're in a hot area, your lemonade, because there's always a way to make it better. There's these T-shirts out here in Hawaii. They're called a mud shirt. There was a company that sold souvenir T-shirts. You know, welcome to Kauai, welcome to Maui, welcome to whatever island, and they had a lot of rains, a storm, and mud went right through their shop, and all their T-shirts were ruined, destroyed, and it was like all their money put into it, and they had loans. Businesses are risky business, like that movie, right? It's a risk. So it was pretty devastating. They didn't know what they were going to do. And then someone optimistic had a bright idea. And now you see them everywhere, and they're making more money than they ever did. They have a mud shirt. They washed them off. And the dirt in Hawaii is like, there's a lot of iron in it. So it's kind of reddish. And kind of like in Oklahoma, it's like that too. And it's kind of a pretty color, real nice earthy color. And I had one. I had, like a souvenir that um, my in-laws brought back, and it's cute. It's um, I love it, and when I wash it, it doesn't stain my other clothes. I made sure of that. Kind of like did a little sample, a little tester, and yeah, they making lemonade, making mud shirts out of mud, like the lotus that comes out of the pond, the muddy water. So we have to fight for ourselves, not fight with others, and find peace with ourselves and allow others to have peace. They'll love you for it. So, and we are enough, right? No time to be insecure. We are enough. We're all we need. We're so blessed. We look, we appreciate all of our blessings. Have you ever been without your hand for a while? And, you can't wipe your ass. You can't sign your writing hand. You, you have to write with your other hand. And it's like not the same. It's um, when your hand starts functioning again, you're like, oh, I'm so grateful. We have to look at our blessings. Don't know what you got till it's gone. We don't want to wait till then. Don't waste time. Time is really precious, especially after losing my son. I mean, like I've been through loss before, but a child is different. It's different. You you know you protect and love and pour into that child all heart and soul, and it's a big shift. It's a big shift in thinking and feeling and living. But it was a catalyst for me. I got more connected in my mediumship with him. Last night I saw a fuzzy thing walk by. I was looking at my phone. I was like, "What is that?" And I was just kicking back in bed, looking at my phone, and then I felt wah, my finger go across my head like that. I'm like, "All right, there's a dog back there. Did a bug? Did a gecko just walk past over my head like a fucking um, stepping stone?" My dogs would. They don't give a shit. And so, I, you know, now I know. I know in my soul. I could see him. I saw it. The subtle. It's very subtle. Spirit is subtle, like a subtle whisper when we listen. You know, and listening to ourselves, listening to our feelings. So I hope this helps, and maybe you have a way of um, that really helped you get to the root and heal something, how your perspective is, because everyone has their own unique perspective, and I'd love to hear it. So, um, sweet dreams. Good night, collective. Good night, star seeds, earth angels. I love you. Peace out. Peace.